Please be advised, Little Miss Recap contains adult language. Hi everyone, welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where we know what The Americans is, and it was an amazing show, and everyone should be ashamed of themselves. My name is Amy. I am your host, and I am here with the amazing Leslie DJ. Welcome, Leslie.
Hi, Amy. How's it going?
It's going okay. How are you?
I am well, considering. I just met with my dissertation chair for the very first time.
Oh, and?
You know, he seems like a good fit. He's really excited, and he has like these things where you gotta like meet little deadlines and stuff rather than some advisors just kind of be like, all right, at the end of the term, you submit this first draft or something. Whereas
Right.
we'll have weekly meetings, and that's what I need.
Yeah, to stay on track.
Yep.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, and then you're going to be Dr. Leslie DJ.
Yep. Dr.
So
DJ,
exciting.
if you're nasty.
That is very exciting. Tell me what is going on with your new photography project, because I'm in love with it.
Oh my God. So I am doing a photography project with a Barbie. Her name is Libby. And you can follow her on Instagram and her adventures at libbydoll.nyc. So I just started this because I used to be a photographer. I used to do concert photography. And then I used to take photography courses and all these things. And I used to photograph like all kinds of stuff. And I hadn't really taken pictures in a long time. And I really missed it. And so I was like, with the Barbie movie coming out and like I keep seeing dolls everywhere and like these dolls now are more posable and they're movable. Like before they just had the stiff arms and legs and you barely move them. Now they're bending, they have joints and everything. So you can make them do cool things. So I started taking this doll. I took it to her first New York Liberty game and
it's so cute.
She was like cheering and people behind me were like, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, okay, thanks. Because I thought you were going to say I'm crazy because I am. But thank you. So I'm hoping that she becomes the mascot at some point.
I was obsessed with Barbies. Not when I was a kid. In my late teens.
Me too. My whole life.
I used to babysit my ex-husband's little sisters. He's from a family of 7 and they were all younger. So like his youngest sister was only 2 when I started dating him.
Aww.
So I would babysit them and I would play Barbies with them all the time. And my Barbie's name was Emily Bronte.
You're such a nerd.
Wow, that was quite nerdy. Like as I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it.
Yeah.
I want to know the important thing. Have you seen the trailer for Sister Wives season 18?
I have not because I do not watch Sister Wives.
Oh, Leslie, it's the most important 2 minutes of film of our lifetime.
So I know that 2 of the wives up and left. I know that.
Yeah. Christine is gone.
One of like one of the core ones left. That's my understanding.
That's Christine. Mary is gone, and now we know Janelle's gone in real time, but like we're seeing the trailer of this is going to be Janelle's awakening, and this is a family that always knew they were on camera. Do you know what I mean? So like you can see the fuck you like kind of bursting out of them, but they would never say it. Because like they were always conscious of the camera being there. Gloves are off in this trailer, let me tell you. Janelle's like, fuck you, Cody. Oh my God, it's so great. It's so great.
And woman Cody's talking
like, maybe
back
I should be the
husband.
devil I am. It's so fantastic.
Oh my God. Yeah, because whenever I would see the trailers for that, because this has been on for like a million years.
Yeah, 18 seasons. I mean,
I was like, this is so culty looking. I don't like that. It seems a little creepy. And I don't know. Now that the women are rebelling, I kind of like it.
A lot of us came to Sister Wives, I did anyway, after Big Love on HBO.
So I did watch that show.
Yes, was phenomenal. It's not with, so there's 2 Bills, a Paxton and a Pullman. Paxton is the dirtier one that you would have a one-night stand with. Pullman's the one you want to marry. So which one is in Big Love? Is it Pullman, right?
The one that died. That's the one I know that's in it.
Okay. All right. Anyway, that show, I feel like, was the gateway drug to polygamy for me. And I really got into Sister Wives when it came out. And it was around that time in the aughts where, like, the Duggars were on and John and Kate +8. Like, TLC was having a moment. And
they were having a
gave us Cody
baby
Brown
fever, because I remember the first show I watched there on TLC, because it was the Learning Channel, was a baby story, and you'd watch a woman giving birth and like the first few days of the after the baby's born. It's really cute.
And you can't watch that and not cry. You just can't.
I know. And I don't even like babies, nor desire to have one ever. And I was like, this is so cool.
Well, we are here today to talk about And Just Like That, Season 2, Episode 5, Trick or Treat. Before we get into it, let me just say, guys, we are going to be covering Sister Wives on Little Miss Recap. It's going to be me and I think Amanda and Stephanie. I'm not sure because we're all super fans. The three of us are crazy super fans. So stay tuned, subscribe, get in our Facebook group, which is called Little Miss Recap's Backdoor Friends. Don't ask any questions. Just go with it.
Just join.
And just join. And so get in that Facebook group and subscribe so you don't miss August 20th, Sister Wives Season 18. Okay, so let's talk about it just like that. Overall thoughts of this episode, because last week was a dumpster fire. I feel like this week might have been a little better. What do you think?
This is the episode that I walked to the set of. This was the one that was being filmed.
Okay.
When I saw the crew, and Cynthia Nixon was in the little director's tent. That's why I knew that she was directing that episode. And I just kept casually walking by to the bagel place, and then I would cross right back and be like, oh, I forgot something. I kept trying to pass by. It was so obnoxious. It's so obnoxious, but I did not make it on air, clearly. But yeah, it was just so, I was so giddy when I saw it. I was like, oh my God. Because that was like the dream, was like to find the crew at some point of Sex and the City and like just walk there. And also, I don't think they ever done Halloween other than in the movie briefly. Because Carrie's always in a costume, so you can't really tell.
Yes.
But yeah, I love Halloween, so I was like, okay, let's see what you got.
Here are my thoughts on this episode. It felt more like the series. Okay. However, I feel like series have changed so much since the original series. Like the original series had 18 episodes a season. Right. So you had time for like these filler episodes or these episodes where not much really happened or blah, blah, blah. And it was fun because it was like a half hour and it was on blah, blah, blah.
It was like 22 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I feel like when you only have 10 episodes, like, I don't know, this just felt like nothing much really happened here. I mean, aside from Miranda and Che, I feel like that was...
Yes, we needed
that.
But
like, I don't know, I just guess I wanted a little more meat. But I believe that is more true to the series.
I think that this show, even though it's longer, I think they're like hour long. I don't even know, because
they're 44 minutes. I know.
44 minutes. Okay, so it's like doubled up.
One of those 44 minutes, yeah.
Okay, so it's double. It's like 2 episodes in one. And a lot of times I see things like, you know, the little Halloween party, which we'll talk about. Everybody's dancing. It was cute to see Anthony dancing as the devil. Love it. Yes. You know, LTW looking hot as hell. Love it. But did we need that? No. But this is why it was placed, just to do the Hamilton callback. That was all.
Yes.
That was the purpose.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay. So we open on Miranda's phone alarm going off at 5 a.m. and Che is pissed because they didn't go to bed till 4 a.m. But Miranda has an early class and we learn that she is going home to wake Brady up. And this drives me crazy. Why are we waking our like 20-year-old son up? I don't know what's happening there.
Well, in this instance, it's because she feels immense amount of guilt because she ruined the family. Okay. So that's why she's trying to play nice. Yeah. I
feel like real Miranda would be like, get your ass out of bed and run your own life.
She probably would have called them and been like, hey, wake up call, get the fuck up.
So Brady comes downstairs in that amazing townhouse they live in. And she's carving a pumpkin and she's making pancakes. And Brady tells her, like, you don't have to come here and make breakfast every day. But she wants to, and she wants to try to take care of them. And then she's like, oh, we should decorate the stoop. You know, we have to do something for the stoop, whatever. Later, Carrie and Miranda are headed to Charlotte's fundraiser, and Miranda is not in costume, but Carrie is, and Miranda doesn't think she is, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Did you listen to the Writers' Room podcast?
I sure did.
Okay, I did too. So they were talking about this.
Yeah,
and
the
I
SJP
guess,
was the one that suggested
yes,
this person.
Yes, because he was going to put her in Breakfast at Tiffany's, right?
Yeah.
Audrey Hepburn. What's her name? No.
Yeah, Audrey Hepburn.
Yes. Okay. So Carrie's dressed as Helen Gurley Brown, writer and founder of Cosmo, circa 1970. And Miranda's just ribbing her, like, oh, I just thought this was how you dress every day. Like, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was.
And Miranda says she's cranky because she's in the Bermuda schlepping triangle between Che's, Brooklyn, and Columbia. So now we have Miranda's back in school.
Yep.
Thank the Lord. I don't know. Time is so when she was with Che in California, was that summer break? And now
I think it was summer because I think at the end of the first season, that's why Louisa and Brady were going to backpack through Europe in the summer. So I think, yeah, they were summertime.
This is moving really fast because next episode we know.
It's winter, yeah.
Yeah. So is he doing an episode a month? I don't know what's going on here, but we're moving.
I don't know. And their explanation for it wasn't that sound because they were kind of like, yeah, we're going to get through these seasons and through and it's like, we don't have to do anything, honestly. We could just fucking let the story breathe, but okay, right. I'm not in charge.
Okay. So Charlotte also doesn't think Carrie's in costume. Miranda whips out a clown nose. That's her contribution. Charlotte is dressed as Elizabeth Jennings from The Americans, who you know is Carrie Russell's character, and she looks just like her, and it's amazing.
And I love the thing with the cheeks that she was doing with like the face.
Yeah, oh and God, she just keeps like moving her hair onto her shoulder.
It's so her.
And Harry is dressed as Philip, and that's Matthew Reese's character, and that's hilarious.
That hair.
He's got a wig on and everything. It's pretty good. At the party, so this is like a killer party. I'm assuming it's for that school that sucks up all their money.
Probably.
Seema is there, and Dr. Nia Wallace is there as well, and she's dressed as Eartha Kitt's Catwoman.
Yes.
Seema says she and Nia need to go to a 5-star hotel bar to meet a man, and Carrie's like, I'll go with. So this is something on the writers' room that they were saying that they interviewed one single woman.
Yeah,
They said a single woman. They did not say we interviewed a focus group of single women. We interviewed a single woman. And she said, this is where you go to meet quality men.
Yes, okay. That one person. Why don't they go to one of the Roni housewives, like the New York housewives, the one that just got demoted because they're not doing anything? They would love to consult on this shit. They're always, they're like on the hunt for dick. Like these women are 50 plus and they're just, 60 plus actually. And they're just on the hunt for dick. It's sad. Okay. And I love every minute of it. And I'm going to miss the old school Roni, but that's just me. Okay.
And that's the Housewives thing?
Yes, New York Housewives. Okay. The new season with the reboot thing starts this weekend, and I'll watch it. Janelle Lyons is in it, so I'll watch it. We'll see.
Okay. LTW is dressed as the Bride of Frankenstein. She's dancing with Anthony, and she looks real tall next to him.
With that hair. Oh, my God.
Yes, and she's wearing boots, I think. She looks really tall. And Herbert shows up, who I just call husband. I hate that I even know his name now. I wish I didn't. And he's like, oh, it's undignified to be dancing with the devil. And LTW's like, well, he's gay. But and Herbert's like, the press isn't going to know that. That's something out of 2002. I'm sorry. That needs to go away. That thinking
you could dance with queer people because, they're not going to hit on you because men are so disgusting and predatory, which a lot of them are. But it's like, come on, guys, do better. Do better. I agree. She's like, he knew all the parts to TLC's Creep. Like, she names all the parts that he knew. And he's like, well, we can't let the press see this. Okay, whatever, husband. Charlotte and Harry are explaining their costumes to everyone. And Miranda, cannot let it go. Miranda and Carrie have, I think, a toxic friendship. I really do. I feel like they judge each other all the time. Oh, yeah.
And Miranda's like, you're really going to a hotel bar to pick up men. Like, what is it? Why do you have a problem with this?
I think that was very true to Miranda, though, because she was Miss Judgy Pants. Everything
Yeah,
that
I
Carrie
don't like
did
that.
with Big, she was super judgy. With the Russian, which, deservingly
Mm-hmm.
so.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like she always had an opinion. But when you go and tell her about herself, she doesn't like it and she can't handle it.
No. Mm-mm. So at home, we see Herbert dressed in his George Washington costume from Hamilton, which was pretty
Yes.
funny.
His actual costume, you guys. Like,
His
he
actual
said,
costume.
I could bring it in.
Yep. And he's like, oh, the British are coming and they have sex. It's okay. I mean, I could get behind some historical cosplay, I think.
Mm.
Some JFK, some RFK. I
So
could
then
get
you
into
get to be
that.
Marilyn.
Mm-hmm. So at Charlotte, oh, you just gave me a great idea. Let me write that down.
So, Timmy, hello.
At Charlotte's, she and Harry are watching The Americans just in the middle of the day. I mean, I thought he was like this huge, successful lawyer. How is he just in the middle of the day?
I know.
Chilling and watching The Americans. And Rock comes in and says that a modeling scout has asked them to model. And Rock hands Charlotte the card, and it's a scout from, now they keep saying Ralph Lauren, and it drives me crazy because isn't it Ralph Lauren? Or am I saying it wrong?
Maybe we're saying it wrong. That's how I said it, but I guess it's Ralph Lauren.
Ralph Lauren. Harry's super skeptical. He's like, this is To Catch a Predator. Like, what is happening? I don't like this. Now, there were 2 guest appearances in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I recognized them both immediately, probably from very different places than you recognize them.
Peter Herman?
We're going to meet our first one here.
Okay.
Carrie, Seema, and Naya are at the singles bar, or the hotel bar. And they're talking about how many dicks they've seen. And apparently Naya has only seen one. Andre Rashad. You know, we can't just call him Andre.
No, because he's an artist.
Yes.
Amy.
And,
he has 2 names.
And Carrie's like, oh, I haven't seen that many. And Seema's like, I've seen a bazillion, whatever. Now Matt from Beverly Hills 90210 comes over. Did you recognize him?
That's who that is.
Yes, he's the lawyer that they all go to.
Oh my God.
Yes.
My brain just exploded.
Mm-hmm. He hits on Seema, and I just wrote, there is no way. She is so far out of this guy's league. There is no way that she's so going home with this guy.
And could we just admit that she is the new Samantha? She is legit Samantha.
She can pull 20-year-olds. I mean, there is no fucking way this woman has to deal with this guy.
Nope. She's
the new Samantha. I'm here for it. I'm here for her. Seema is the only home run of this entire series.
I think that Seema would do well, like, with the Beverly Hills housewife style of dating a really rich old dude and just being taken care of, because she's so fabulous. She doesn't really need the money, but it'd be a nice bonus.
Mm-hmm.
That's the setup she needs.
So they go upstairs and they're making out, and he discloses that, yes, his name is Ed, and he also suffers from ED. Little on the nose there, writers. Mm-hmm. And then he pulls out a penis pump. Now, Leslie, have you ever seen a penis pump in live
real
action?
Life? No, never.
Me either, but Papa Matty Marr always talks about it with his dad and the pump.
Yeah. Yes, I remember
it wasn't an external pump, though. Remember, he had something where I've known people who've encountered penis pumps. I've never seen one personally, but
Same.
So, all right, now we're at Che's, and Che and their friends are playing video games and smoking a ton of weed and keeping Miranda up, and it's like 3:30 a.m. And I'm like, are you in college? What is happening?
That's how comics live.
How about what they said on the writer's room? Was it on the writer's room? No, I forget who said it. Somebody in the conversation and just like that said, I'm beginning to think it's not Che I hate, it's comics I hate.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could separate those two, but okay.
And Che is not a good comic. I don't know. We'll get to that.
Right, we'll get to it. Now we see Carrie standing in the bike lane. She's on the phone with Seema. Seema's telling her about the penis pump, and she's like so distracted that she doesn't notice a guy crash into her in the bike lane. And this dude has a broken wrist, so Carrie takes him to urgent care. Now, I immediately recognize this guy. Where did you know him from?
Younger. And as Mariska Hargitay's husband.
Okay, I know him, Peter Herman,
Mm-hmm.
as Dr. Michael Burke from Guiding Light. He is the man who cloned Reva Shane. I remembered him
Wow.
immediately. I can't even remember my kids' names half the time. And I looked at this dude. I probably haven't seen him in 30 years. And I was like, oh, Michael Burke. I knew him immediately.
You know, funny story. I've actually sat next to him at an event. Um,
Mm.
in college, I went to a theater school. I was a theater nerd, and I got a BA in theater arts and with a concentration in playwriting at Marymount Manhattan. And Mariska Hargitay was there. She was like doing a speaker series because they used to bring actors and like different performers to talk to
Mm-hmm.
like the students. And she was on stage, and he was sitting next to me, you know, in the crowd supporting his wife. And at one point, she did kind of like mention him, and he was blushing. He was like, "No, no, no." And I was like, "Oh, that's so
Mm.
sweet." And I turned to him, I was like, "That's really sweet. You're so supportive." And he was like, "Yeah, it's her day. I don't want to take away from her." And I'm thinking, like, no one knows who the fuck you are. I don't. And then I realized years later, holy shit, that's the guy from Younger. I sat next to him. He was so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he was so sweet. He was really nice. I did have a brief conversation with him about like just dealing with like fame in New York City, and he was really
Mm.
like chill about it. Like, yeah, it's not, people don't really bug them. They could kind of go
Yeah.
about their way.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
He's a nice
Did
dude.
he bring up his role on Guiding Light
He did
or
not. He did
okay.
not want to talk about himself at all. That's why I didn't even
Okay.
know he was an actor, because he was just like, I'm just her husband. Like, he just went in
Okay.
as, I'm just her husband.
See, I like that. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Okay. So Carrie helps him fill out his forms, and his emergency contact is his partner. And she's like, "Oh, a partner?" And he's like, "No, no, no, a business partner. We're like in tech." This business partner, uh, he says it later. He's like, "We're like Lennon and McCartney." Then this asshole's McCartney, because y'all know how I feel about Paul McCartney. Um, he is so annoying. He's like a little narc. He just keeps calling on that phone, and I don't know why everyone FaceTimes. Leslie, how many people in your world FaceTime you?
Jesus Christ. My mom sometimes. You know, but she's a
Your mom
mom.
sometimes, who gave birth to you.
Yeah.
She's allowed to FaceTime.
And you know, my bestie, because I want to see my god kids, so we do FaceTime like
Okay.
that. But I'm not just gonna call you and be like, Amy, get on FaceTime. Like,
No,
why?
it's so weird. It's so weird. But apparently he keeps doing this. So I don't know what's going on. And when he's leaving, his credit card is declined. So Carrie thinks he's poor. More on that later. Okay, Harry comes home and Charlotte and Rock are cooking, and it's something out of like Norman Rockwell. Like Charlotte has the apron on. Rock is suddenly like okay with everything and is
Peeling
mixing up some
potatoes.
cookie
Yeah,
batter. I don't know
onion.
what's happening.
She was like, dude, they were doing like the thing with the carrot, like with a carrot peeler or something.
Oh, and here I am saying it's cookies. See how my mind works? It was cookies in my world. They zoomed with the Ralph Lauren people, and it's going to be a conservative family shoot with Rock wearing a polo shirt just like I did when I modeled for Ralph Lauren when I was 15 or whatever. Harry's not having it. He's like, I feel like this is a what's the Liam Neeson Taken. I feel like this is a Taken situation, and I'm not Liam Neeson. I can't get us out of this. Like something's. He keeps saying something is off about all of this, which will he be right? We don't know.
That's
So
something
he
that
feels
I would have thought, you know,
yeah,
instant would have like, I don't know.
well, and he keeps like his thing is that they're going to exploit Rock, which TBD. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
So now Naya and Miranda are chatting about Naya's one night stand that she had picked up at the bar, which was a very handsome gentleman that she went home with. But she's another one. She could pull anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And Miranda tells her, I'm not getting any sleep, but I have nowhere to go. So Naya offers her Andre Rashad's music studio. So Andre Rashad won't have anywhere to sleep if he comes home because now, do you buy for 1 second that, and I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but that Miranda has to go to a used furniture store to get a single bed?
What the hell was that about?
Drop the $100 at IKEA. What are you doing?
That you could get like one of these like memory foam mattresses from Amazon. Comfortable as hell. Super cheap.
So weird. So weird. Anyway, later we see Carrie and she's visiting George Campbell, Peter Herman, Dr. Michael Burke, whatever you want to call him. And he has an amazing apartment. Leslie, how much do you think an apartment like that costs?
That's over like 10 million.
Yeah,
Easy. Because it's in New
easy.
York City. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yes. And he is absolutely rich. And Carrie says, I'm here for lunch and I'm going to offer my hands for, writing and stuff like that. And she's like, is this weird? He's like, yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. So they talk about how, like, she thought he was hard up for money, but clearly that's not the case. And he's like, oh, I've had successful apps. Like, I'm good. Then they just start making out. And
Yeah.
then the real life partner, McCartney, comes in and is like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah." Like, he's such a narc.
Yeah.
I'd be like, dude, you are harsh in my mellow. Get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you doing?
He's
Anyway.
probably someone that's super single because he just threw himself to the work, to those apps, and wants him to be, the partner and everything.
Yeah. So Carrie leaves. Now Che and Miranda are having dinner and they're discussing the pilot. Now, what'd you think about this dinner and Che's joke that they made?
I don't even remember it. What does that
well,
say?
I'm going to refresh your memory, so get ready. Miranda's eating spicy curry. And Che says, Miranda's telling Che that she's going to move to Andre Rashad's room. And Che is like, oh, okay, no biggie. And then Che's like, the only thing I'm worried about is that spice all over your lips because I'm not trying to have curry lungus later.
Yeah.
Oh,
now I remember.
My God.
Yeah.
Who wrote that? Where do they live? I'm mailing them an envelope of anthrax. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
No, it's just a joke. It's just she's being facetious.
Just a joke.
Probably PK, whatever his name, Michael Patrick King. Yeah, probably him.
Yeah, probably.
Those are his kind of jokes. Here's the thing about that podcast. It's actually a great companion because, first of all, watch the episode first, like they say, and then listen to it. Because a lot of times you go, why would they make this choice? And then you find out. They will tell you why. Because some of these are ideas they've had from like 20 years ago that they never used. And they're trying to shoehorn in. And Amy, as a writer, I have a question for you. Have you ever had a project and did something and kind of moved on from it, but said, I kind of like the core of this or like the idea of this. I'll save it for another time and try to rework it later on?
Yes.
And sometimes you're successful and other times you
sometimes
cannot.
you have to know when to let things die.
Yeah, you have to. You can't do it all the time. It doesn't work all the time.
Yeah, I had this idea. I had this idea for a play. I swear to God, I think it was the best idea I've ever had. It cannot be done today. It cannot be done. It's not a politically correct thing. It involves technology that is extremely outdated.
Oh,
so
okay. Unless you're gonna do a period piece, you can't do it.
No, I couldn't do it today. But I could do it, but change the technology.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the core of the story was like the quirkiness of really specific small industries and how they're all in competition with each other and stuff. Like, that can still work, but I would need to I don't know what these writers are doing. And I will tell you, after listening to that podcast, these writers think they're doing a great job.
Oh my God.
They're like, oh my God, patting themselves on.
Jerk. Yes. It's just like, oh.
Yes.
It's disgusting. I just made a horrible face. I'm so sorry.
She just went with her little
my little hand.
Like, let me describe what I just saw. Leslie she just had her hands like she had little baby penises that she was jerking off.
Like teats, like milking teats.
Yes. Oh, okay. Anyway. But it's very self-congratulatory. You're just like, really, guys? Really? Okay. So now we have a photo shoot and Charlotte shows up and she's wearing all vintage Ralph. And B, the stylist, does not look very impressed with this. They're just like, okay, come on, Rock. Like, I don't know who your mother is. Later, we see Rock posing for on a trampoline, posing for their shoot. And Harry comes in and he's in his American's wig and he sneaks into the shoot and he's trying to infiltrate it. What are your thoughts on this?
I never felt more awkward. Like, I felt that awkwardness. I was like, oh no, please don't do it. And then trying to be like, yo, and like trying to talk to the guy. And I was just like, oh my God.
Wait,
But
he
it was
wasn't
so
just
cringe, but in like a
yes.
cute way.
He wasn't just talking to the guys. It wasn't like a Steve Buscemi, like, oh, hey, you kids on 30 Rock. This
Yeah.
was, he's going up to the director. He's going, so what's going on? And he sex shoots. Like, he was, like, they could have had him arrested.
They're like, this is a family shoot. Like, dude. He's like, oh, all right.
It's so weird. So now Charlotte sees him immediately and she scoots over and she's like, you need to get the fuck out of here. Because if Rock sees you, it's all downhill. And you're just jealous that I'm the fun parent for once and you're the heavy. And he's like, yeah, maybe that's it. So now we get Miranda and Carrie secondhand bed shopping, which I can't even imagine. Okay.
Is that even legal? Because
when I first got married and we had zero money, we did have a secondhand bed. However, it was from a relative.
Okay. Not from like a random place.
Yeah, it wasn't like a warehouse on 86th Street where you're just like, grabbing something. This was weird. And Carrie should have been like, I'm loaded. Let me take you to IKEA and get you a bed.
I forget that Carrie's so fucking rich because I keep thinking of old school Carrie from Sex and the City. I forgot. She has, big money.
Literally.
So she just, why doesn't she help her friend out?
I would, listen, let me tell you. I would help my friends through a divorce no matter what they needed. This is ridiculous.
Same. I would be like, are you sure you don't want me to spring for a mattress? Because I got the moolah, just make a stupid joke or something. And I could see Miranda being like, no, it's temporary. That's why I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. But it's just gross.
It's weird. So Miranda says she and Naya are going to live together and be like the angry Laverne and Shirley. And then Carrie tells her about George, like, oh, I met this guy and blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of the end of the scene. Nothing really happens. Now, this is the big scene here. Che is watching the focus group.
Oh.
And in the most meta thing ever, the people bring up the scene about crying. And one person says, this just makes the non-binary experience look really sad and tragic. And the person who says that is, I'm assuming non-binary. That's how Che refers to them. And this person says Che feels phony, sanitized, and is a dad joke performative version of the non-binary experience. All of America stood up at once and said, yes.
You heard us. You got the note. Thank you for listening. Finally. And then do you want to discuss how the writers feel about this?
Well, let me just finish the sentence real quick.
Jesus.
So the guy running the focus group is like, does anyone else have anything negative to say about Che Diaz? And everyone raises their hand. Now, go ahead and tell everyone what the Writers Room podcast said about this scene.
You guys, they were so proud of this moment. Because they were like, when we started just like that, we thought, let's bring this non-binary, cool, comic character. People are going to love them and blah, blah, blah. And then they were like shocked by how they were received, which was not well. Everybody hates Che, basically. And they were just like, oh, so, they just kind of wrote that in. So they basically took, I guess, Twitter comments and like wrote it into the script because I was like, I've seen these comments before.
Well, and not even that. I don't know if you caught this, but Michael Patrick King basically wrote this scene to shame all of us.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I wanted people to see how that feels when somebody hears all of these negative comments and there's actually a person that is hearing it. And I was like, okay, dude.
Okay, boo fucking who, you're in showbiz. That comes with it.
Now, I will say this. The actor who plays Che Diaz,
amazing, can
really act.
Yes.
And in moments where we see them fighting with Miranda about this and being upset about this, I'm like, and even go back a few episodes to the weight conversation and stuff, I'm like, this person is not a bad actor.
Right.
It is truly the character that we are all hating. So why the writers would hear all of the criticism, clearly understand it, and not just write this person out of season 2 is beyond me. That is That is
Yeah.
some white man confidence right there on
Because
Michael Patrick King.
they just kept saying like, yeah, so we took all of that in, we heard you, we didn't understand, how can you
We
not
heard you,
like
but we're going to
Che?
continue to shove Che down your throats.
Exactly. But Sada Ramirez is just so talented, and I feel
Agreed.
bad because people probably think like they suck, and it's like, no, it's not them, it's the character they're portraying, it's the lines they're given.
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to like. So let me just get through the next scene, then we'll talk about. Miranda's ranting about corporate TV, and she says, "What do a bunch of strangers know about your experience?" And Che says, "A genderqueer person from Brooklyn tanked it." So like ABC thought if they don't like it, no one's going to. And Miranda starts screaming that they could eat shit. Everybody could eat shit. Everybody could eat shit. Sorry, that's my dog. Even ABC can eat shit. And Che's like, this is not helping. And guess what? I can't afford the big, beautiful apartment I bought with only a pilot deal. Like an idiot.
Who does that? Who does that?
I know. And Miranda's like, you'll make another show. I'll be your cheerleader. And she's like, come on, Che. Come on, Che. Like doing this weird chant. And Che's like, she screams at her. Che screams at Miranda. Sorry. And they're like, this is my identity, this is my life, and I need some space. So if they write Che out of this right now, I'll say good riddance, and this is good timing.
Yeah, this is the best exit strategy right here.
Yes.
Because Miranda now has to deal with the aftermath of her divorce and her infidelity. And then what does that look like when the person you left your husband for is no longer there for you? You know what I mean? Like that would be an interesting dynamic for her and for Steve to be like, you blew everything up for nothing,
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear my dog?
No.
Okay. So yeah, I think that this is the opportunity, writers. Take it. Because we don't like our hatred for Che, our rage level at Che it's simmering. It's not real high. It's not boiling like it was 3 episodes ago or last season. Yeah. So like take the win, take the W, and skadoodle. Okay. Later, Seema and Matt from 90210 are having sex, and he finishes and she doesn't. So she gets her vibrator out, and he has a real problem with this, which is weird because those two things are not the same. They don't do the same things for people. So I'm not sure why he's conflating these two things.
I think it's just that like, you're disrespecting my love making skills because you did not get off.
So he gets angry, he leaves, and then we see Carrie and her guy making out on the bed, and Narc Paul calls again on FaceTime, and he's ranting that he didn't get the deck, and this dude is like, I'm going to send it over by messenger. Like, these guys work in tech. Why are they sending things by snail mail? I don't understand what's happening.
Don't know.
And Carrie's like, look, I got to go. You're clearly in a relationship with this dude. And this is where he says, like, we're like Lennon and McCartney. And she's like, yeah, and I'm not Yoko. Like,
yeah, that was cute.
Can we lay off the Yoko hate? But that's another thing.
Yeah, but that was like typical Sex and the City humor. So I was like, cute Carrie humor.
She didn't malign Yoko too much.
Yeah.
So I was okay with it.
There was literally a punk band at some point, like an indie band called Don't Yoko Our Band.
Wow.
At some point. I remember this in the early aughts.
Give me their number and I will fight that characterization of Yoko Ono. So then we have the voiceover, and just like that, George and I were over, but at least I got back on the bike. And that's it. That's our episode.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't terrible. It was better than last week.
Yeah, I definitely...
Oh, and then in the previews, we see Steve's still not looking for an apartment.
Yes, that looks good, actually.
What's going on?
Steve is like, this is my house. And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. And so, like, is he just telling the therapist what the therapist wants to hear? Is he playing nice guy in front of the therapist? Like, see, this is a good storyline.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Because let's say they have a conversation with the therapist and he's like, yeah, we're trying to get along. And then she goes, so when are you moving out? I'm not moving. And it's like, but you just told the therapist that you were like, blah, 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 like that's something there.
Yep. More of this, writers. More of this.
Yeah. No more Che. Like, we don't need to see Che ever again.
No more Lyle. Even though I like the actor who plays him, Oliver Hudson. No more. We don't need it. Just
Yeah, what?
Che and
Go away.
Miranda. Che asked Miranda for space. Let's give Che lots of space.
And do not do just one episode or like half an
Mm-mm,
episode. I need
mm-mm.
like the rest of the series,
Yeah,
which I feel
yeah.
bad. I don't want to get, like Sarah Ramirez fired or anything, but it's like I don't like this character unless they're gonna do like a total revamp. It's like, how do you save this person?
The only thing I could think is maybe Che loses everything and gets super humble.
Yeah, because I think the writers were saying that people hated how cocky Che was.
Yeah, and Michael Patrick King's like all proud of himself, like, well, I wrote a confident character. That's not confidence. That's
No,
cockiness. Like
and
it's
totally unlikable. And
yeah.
everything that they said in season 1 was like a cliche. Well, give me another 5 minutes, I'll give you 10. Like nobody talks like that.
Nobody talks like that. Nobody talks like that. All right, Leslie, let me tell everybody what's coming up on Little Miss Recap. So a
Yeah.
few things. You're gonna be hearing this. My sister and I just did the Wham documentary.
Oh my god,
So
I
we're
need
gonna
to
be
watch
talking about
that.
that.
I'm so
It was
excited.
fun. It's very light, but it's very
Good.
fun.
I love George Michael. There also
Mm-hmm.
is like a George Michael documentary that came out not that long ago that you could
Oh,
probably find. I think it's like on Max or something. You could
I
probably
need to see
find
that.
as a companion piece, yeah, or on
Mm-hmm.
Prime. I just know that I see it like advertised, and I remember getting a press release on it
Okay.
like last year, I think. Yeah.
And then we also recorded a short episode, 15-20 minutes on the Emmy nominations.
Ooh.
So that's out.
No one just like
And
that? No? None of our people?
no. Che Diaz was not nominated. And then Amanda and I are going to be back with Yellow Jackets season 1 we're going to cover. And Stephanie and I are doing our guilty pleasure, Yellowstone season 5.
See,
with
that's
John
the thing. I'm like, Yellow Jacket, Yellowstone, which is which? I do not know.
Yeah. Very different shows. Very different shows. Yes.
One is like cowboyish, and the other one seems apocalyptic. I can't even say it.
Apocalyptic, yes. Yeah. Yellow Jackets is apocalyptic, and Yellowstone is like Succession set in Montana on a big ranch.
Huh. I just watched Succession. I started it
so good.
A few months ago, and I totally binged it. And holy crap, if Kieran Culkin doesn't win an Emmy, I'm gonna riot.
I think he's gonna win.
He needs to win it. Like, fuck Jeremy Strong, Kieran, all the way.
He needs
who would have thought that Kieran would be the hot Culkin? Like, who?
I know.
I grew up loving Macaulay. I was like, that's my boyfriend. And now it's Kieran because now I'm a cougar. Yeah.
And Macaulay's pretty rough.
Yeah,
did not
age
well. Can you tell everyone what you have coming up on Sinister, Girlz?
Well, right now we're taking a little break for this week because I'm going to start recording next week because we have a few guests that their albums are releasing more like August, September-ish. So I'm just like waiting, so that way it's not so stale, because then a lot of times I'll interview these bands and everything is set to go, and then they change a whole bunch of tour dates, or they change like half of what they were talking about. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't work now. So I don't like holding interviews for too long. So that's why we're going to start next week. And then we will have, I don't know when, but Miss Fifi Dobson, who has been on the podcast before, has a new album coming out later this year. And we are promised that she will be back. So I'm excited about that. So follow us at Sinister Girls, and also follow my Barbie, Libby doll.nyc. She's super cute. She has tattoos and piercings.
She's super cute.
She has a little fro. She's so cute. She kind of looks like me. Kind of like how I want to look.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
You should try to get Andrew from Wham.
Oh my God, I would die.
He might be into like doing press right now.
Yes, I should reach out. Oh my God, I would die.
Let us know. Awesome. Keep us updated on this.
Yes, I will. I'll try. Okay. I'll put it out there. Oh my God. So I was supposed to go see Shania Twain on Tuesday, and I was sick and I could not go. I couldn't sell the tickets and it sucked. And then some person tried to scam me over their phone. It was like a whole ordeal where I almost had a mental breakdown.
Oh.
It was so bad that I recorded 56 minutes of this conversation because this person was claiming that they were part of the DEA and that my identity had been stolen, and that in Texas, on the border, they found a car with 32 pounds of cocaine, and it was registered under my name, and there was blood samples in it. So they needed to clear my name. So I needed to draw out my bank account so I could give them money so they could clear my name. Clearly, that was real. So I am going to use that audio and try to create a little podcast thing about it, because the way they get you, it's so crazy, because it got to the point where they made me leave my house. But I was like, okay, you're telling me to go to Target to buy a federal wallet, you know, whatever. They just wanted a gift card, essentially. And I was like, okay, I'll go. And they was like, I'll stay on the line with you. I felt like a hostage. And you see me, I was sweating. I was nervous. And I'm just walking around the streets of Washington Heights looking for a cop. Because I was like, wow, I had to tell a cop about this, because I was really scared. I was like, I don't know what these people are, if they're even in the States, or if they're here, if they're watching me. I don't know what's going on. I watch a lot of true crime, and you see that CTV cam footage of the person going into like a Target or Walmart and then never coming back or whatever. And I was like, no, that ain't gonna be me. No.
I watch See No Evil. Yeah, I know all about this. Yeah.
So I just went straight up beeline for a cop, and I was like, mute the phone. And I was like, this guy's saying DEA, but he was like, this is a scam. Hang up. Trust me. Do not give them any more information. After that, this person proceeded to call me a total of 18 times, and I kept declining. And then this person, this officer, quote unquote, sends me the most bootleg Photoshop photo of an ID badge that I've ever fucking seen.
Wow. I need to hear this whole story. You're doing a podcast about it?
Yeah, I definitely will. So I'll let you know when that's out, because it's just outrageous.
Well, I'm glad you're safe, and I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, me too. And I'm glad I didn't, give them my money, because I don't really got money to give. So
yeah,
joke's on them.
None of us do. All right, girl. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Follow us on Little Miss Recap on Instagram, Little Miss Recap on Facebook. Leave us a review. 5 stars helps keeps the lights on, keeps us in Apple Podcasts, coming up in those search results. And leave us a voicemail. Let us know what you're thinking of Che Diaz. We want to know. And if you leave us something, maybe we'll play it.
Do you love Che Diaz?
What if Che Diaz leaves us a voicemail? It's like, I hate you all. That would make me sad.
That would make me sad.
All right, guys. We'll be back next week with episode 6. And thank you for listening. See you soon.